I don't think you know anything about Harry Styles. Our communities.
Gonna talk about it again, so I told y'all so.
Our culture.
I am a Sam Smith. I will be Sam's representative.
Our stories.
It's also not a requirement for you to agree.
Our opinions.
This is the Culture Report.
All right, everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the Culture Report. We have a lot to get into. Most of it is pretty hard, so I'll just toss it over to Alexia.
All right, so last Saturday, a white gunman walked into a Jacksonville Dollar General. He shot and killed 3 innocent people because of the color of their skin. Police said the gunman, who took his own life, had swastikas on his assault rifle and left behind racist writings. Before the deadly shooting, the gunman went to Edward Waters University and HBCU, but was asked to leave by a security guard when he refused to identify himself. So this story hit hard for me. I call Jacksonville a second home. So when I first saw this, I follow all the Jacksonville news stations. So I saw that there was shooting, but it didn't say it was racially motivated yet.
Yeah.
So I was like, when I first saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, do I know this one of these people that was involved in this? And it was terrifying. Thankfully I didn't, but
Yeah.
it's a tragic thing to happen, you know?
Situations like this really make me think about, like, the people that comment under things like, why do you guys always talk about race? Like, racism isn't an issue anymore. We already had a black president, this and that. Let's talk about something different. I'm like, clearly it is. Like, people are still getting shot. People are getting killed solely like the color of their skin. That's it. I was like, so I would implore people who are sitting there saying that racism isn't an issue. I think you should you can do whatever you want, but use that energy trying to combat racism. That's clearly still an issue.
Absolutely. It was hard watching and, seeing the videos of the victims too. And, I know DeSantis did condemn that violence and, he condemned violence, just targeting based on race. And he has, put some rules out to combat anti-Semitic hate. But it's very contradicting when you're picking, I'm going to defend this group, I'm going to help, this anti-Semitic hate, but then he targets LGBTQ groups and also the black communities with, erasing their history and saying, they benefited from slavery. So I don't know, I'm surprised that he showed up. I don't know what he was expecting there. It was just very... it's hard to watch that too, because I know I think understands just what his rhetoric is doing.
It's you're also playing a role. So I did see some people were booing him and things, heckling him. So I'm like, I at least hope he'd understand that some of the things he has said or some of the narratives he's, toted out there or whatever has contributed.
So this hatred, unfortunately.
To some of this. People think that he's standing behind them, so they feel emboldened to do so.
Yeah. It's awful and it's unfortunate. And we want to end this conversation on this tragic event. We want to remember these 3 innocent people that have lost their lives. So the first person was Anote Joseph, or AJ Legary Jr., was described as a loving person who would give the clothes off his back and the food off his plate. Legary's father told NBC News that he recently graduated from high school and was working at the Dollar General to, quote, make some change in his pocket. He was 19 years old. The next victim, Angela Michelle Carr, was a mother of 3 and a grandmother of 16. Her daughter said, quote, she was the mother, the father, the provider, the counselor, the pastor. She was everything. She was 52 years old. And Gerald Deshaun Gallen, a devoted father and a co-parent. Gallen's sister told media, quote, his hopes and dreams were to give his daughter the world and make sure she never wanted for anything. He was 29 years old.
Coloradans are speaking out after a Douglas County Pride celebration was abruptly disrupted by protesters claiming to be there to protect the children. So the protesters are from a group, Abel Shepherd. They blocked the view from planned performances for about 40 minutes, wearing matching shirts which read, Stand to Protect Children. But one parent said they ended up doing just the opposite.
My kids started getting really anxious, and then my middle child ran to me in the back and was sobbing, saying that he was scared, begging for me to go grab his brother and sister because he was worried that they weren't safe.
All right, now the Douglas County Sheriff's Office said that there were no arrests, there were no citations, and that the organizers said that they might do the event in like private property next time. So I guess they have power to like kick protesters out if they want to. But this is like what you. These are people that say like they don't want any of that near them, and then they inject themselves in those situations. Like these
They
are
always do. Like sometimes you go to a concert. Sometimes you have those type of people outside the concert.
Right.
It's like don't show up. Don't tell people what to do. It's none of your business.
You
Just
don't
stay
want us
home.
showing up at what you're doing. I promise. I'm not showing up at your. I don't want to say it. I'm not showing up at your special rallies. I'm not showing up at your churches. I'm not showing. I'm minding my business. I'm living my life. Why can't you do that?
So let me get this straight. So last year, after an accidental nip showing of a plastic nip,
Not a plastic nipple. Yes.
so it was accidentally exposed, and that prompted the commissioners wanting to ban the event. So then they voted to have the event actually go through after, obviously, the Pride Fest organizers agreed to certain things, and this was happening. So the people that were elected made a decision in representation of that whole county, and they still took it upon themselves to go and take matters into their own hands. I'm sorry, this reminds me a little bit about the January 6th deal. Like, the election had already been done, and they're going to take power. And these are people making decisions. Then what's the point? Like, we're voting for these people. Why do we have that then?
It's taking matters into your own hand. And this was a conservative group, and some of the county leaders that were trying to shut down the show were also conservative. But they actually showed up at this year's event, and they commended them. I don't know if it was to save face, but I was like, these are people that you voted for, and they made the decision to keep it going. Like, what's going on? But that's only part of the issue. The other one is you trying to tell other people's to other parents what to do with their kids, and I feel like Kyle Clark really explained it best on Next this week.
So there's a popular phrase among Colorado conservatives these days: we don't co-parent with the government. It's the idea that parents don't want public schools dictating certain things about what kids see and hear, that parents should choose what is appropriate for their kids. And that's what popped into my mind when I saw the protesters disrupting Dougco Pride over the weekend. Their shirt said, "Stand to protect children." But of course, their children almost certainly were not at the event, so they weren't protecting their children. They were there to co-parent other people's children, to determine what they felt was appropriate for other people's kids based on their own religious and social views.
Love it. I love Kyle Clark.
Go off, King.
He put
Ate
it
that up.
together so
No,
well.
but literally, why are you telling me what to do with my kids? And you were the one harassing my kids. You're the one that's making my kids cry, saying they feel unsafe. Why? Clearly, this is not about the kids. This is something I said I've been saying for months. This is not about the kids. This is you trying to push your own religious beliefs or your social beliefs on everyone else. That's exactly what they don't want us to do. They're always like, it's the gay agenda. It's the gay agenda. Let's protect the kid. I promise you, the only thing I want for your kid is for them to be safe and to be able to have the freedom to make, choices that
Their own
best.
choices.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't need to make your kids' choices. They will make their own.
I mean, of course. We're talking about not crazy choices.
Yeah.
I mean, let's for real no. But it's, I don't know. I feel like it's hypocrisy, and I feel like I really wish they would leave the kids alone, stop saying they're trying to protect the kids, and say what they're really about.
They intimidated those poor kids. Yeah, it's unfortunate that it had to go to that, and it's unfortunate that now they're going to have to find a private place to do it. When,
Yeah.
Again, going back to that whole thing, like, they elected these people to make that decision. I'm just going around in circles with that. Like, then what's the point? And if this is going to continue happening.
But it's unfortunate. Even the day before or the day of this event, there was a graffiti on the wall that was not nice to the LGBTQ community, and I'm like, could you guys just leave the LGBTQ plus community alone? Just leave us alone. Leave us alone.
I promise.
I
All right. Well, right now, more people across the country are trying to get books banned from libraries, especially ones with LGBTQ themes. And yes, that includes Douglas County. So the American Library Association says book ban requests at public schools and libraries hit a high in 2020. Last year, the Library Association says it got more than 1,000 requests. Now, that's a 70% increase from 2021. And books with LGBTQ plus themes are most challenged since 2016. And a conservative activist recently tried to get 4 LGBTQ books banned in Douglas County. Aaron Wood also previously protested drag shows. Now, the library board unanimously agreed to keep the books on the shelves. Wood said that he would continue to keep trying to get those books removed.
I'm so happy they kept them.
He thinks that, I know, I too am happy that they kept them, but I'm like, okay. A lot of these, I'm sorry, let me correct myself. They spiked in 2022, not 2021. But a lot of these requests are usually made by one parent. So it's not like the whole district, everybody's trying to get these books banned. It's one parent that says, you know what, I don't want my kid to read this, therefore I don't want anyone else's kids to read this. And I'm like, let's bring back parenting. Tell your kids not to read the book if you don't want them to read the book. Don't take that choice away from everybody else.
No. The thing is, like, some of these books that they're wanting to ban have been around for years and years and years. So they probably had those books when they were in school.
Right.
I think they're like everyone that's grown up with those books seem perfectly
fine. Likely they didn't know them.
We don't know everyone, but they're probably likely fine, perfectly fine.
They're likely perfectly fine. One, because they probably weren't in there reading the books anyway.
Exactly.
They're not reading the books.
Yeah, and I'm guessing they're also like in sections. You know, the older kids can read certain books. I'm sure you're not going to drop your 4 or 5-year-old at the library and hope for the best. Like, you're there as a parent. You choose what they read. You choose for your kid. Don't tell other parents what their kids should be reading.
I just know one of the books that people are trying to get banned in one state is like The Fault in Our Stars. I'm like, we read that in like high school and middle school. It was like so popular. Like it became a movie. What is wrong with that book? It's about someone with cancer.
Plus, I'm like, and they're just like these. The contents of these books are just like things that they're gonna encounter in the real world. Like, I guess I don't know if it's like romance or if they just don't want them to like know about queer things or I don't know. But I'm like, stop trying to erase reality. Like, this stuff is happening. You don't want your kid to go into the world and be like, what? Men?
Exactly like we talked about with the Snow White thing. Stop trying to erase these things.
It's important that they know that these things are in the world so they know how to approach it when they encounter it.
What's next? They're going to try to ban TikTok for the kids too?
Well, they are already trying to ban TikTok.
Oh, where does this stop?
I don't know. It's fine.
You came out of the womb. You know who you are and what you are. Later on, when you grow up and you see things, and you start believing that you could be something that it sounds good, but you know it ain't right. Because a woman is a woman and a man is a man. That's it.
Santana earlier this month at his show in New Jersey. That clip went viral really quick and received a lot of backlash. Santana quickly apologized to his fans on his Facebook page, saying in part, quote, "I am sorry for those insensitive comments. I realize that what I said hurt people and that was not my intent." This is...
Santana, why? Why would you go there?
I think it was random. From what I'm seeing on Twitter, the people that were there said he sang one song and then he went on this random rant.
What brought it? I mean,
the Lord called him. He felt called to share the gospel. I don't... First let's address the apology. Like, first of all, no.
It's giving me what we talked about a few weeks ago
with Neo. This looks like something a PR team would whip up. I'm like, if for somebody to come out like unprovoked and just start randomly spewing homophobic things, and then to wake up the next morning and be like, you know what? I take it all back. No, I feel like if you're gonna apologize and say you've learned from something, I'm like, it takes time to educate yourself, to meet people, to like really change your point of view. I'm like, this sounds like it's just trying to save face, if it was even from him.
I don't think it was from him. I think people are just, scared of getting canceled. Cancel culture, and he just, his PR team was like, oh, this can't happen. We got to put something out.
Santana. But it's awful to use those platforms to spread negativity. Like, it's okay if you have your own beliefs. Keep them to yourself if it's not going to, do good. Like, we're already so divided. We have all these culture wars. We have so much anti-LGBTQ legislation going left and right. And then you have this huge platform, and that's what you go out and say. Unite people.
People just there to have a good time, and now you out here.
I think you can see people in the video like, what is going on?
What's going on? Just sing. Just play the guitar.
What happened?
I don't know, and it's like you said, like, why use your platform to spew hate? And like, we see the climate of the world right now, and I'm like, and it's happening more and more, and like, people probably have always had these thoughts, and I feel like now that we've seen all these leaders come out and do all this stuff, they feel more comfortable and emboldened to. Like, you even heard some people in the crowd, whoa! Why would you do that? Why would you, like, girl, I don't know, Santana.
We won't see an Instagram post, I'm
so
sure.
disappointed.
Curious what's coming after
Yeah.
this. But speaking of scandals here, a scandal that is shaking Spanish football has now unleashed a sexism debate beyond Spain and the sport. Federal prosecutors launched a sexual assault investigation against Spanish football chief Luis Rubiales. He kissed Jenny Hermoso at the Women's World Cup final. Rubiales denies any wrongdoing and claimed that the kiss was mutual. Hermoso says there was no consent. The Spanish Football Federation later threatened legal action for her, quote, lies. The incident has resonated with many women, some saying it is exactly why many women do not come forward.
I mean,
protests have erupted in support of Hermoso, and regional leaders have called for Rubiales to resign. FIFA has also suspended him pending a full investigation.
okay, no. This makes me so mad. Because I'm like, why would they want to come out? Why would women want to come out? I'm like, this literally was on international television, and people are still calling her a liar. Like, excuse me?
And it's a video that people can replay and replay and replay. He clearly, you can see in the video where he grabs her by the face and kisses her. But let's just backtrack a little bit. Initially, he dismissed the comments and calling critics of this kiss idiots. First off. Then after all the backlash, he apologized because it offended clearly some people. Then he said it was mutual,
Yeah.
which she denies. So I'm just like thinking, like, how long has this been going on?
I mean, it doesn't. I'm like, you're her boss anyway. Why are you kissing your like? And I did watch the full video, and I saw him like he kissed everybody.
yeah.
He grabbed everybody, hugged everybody, picked them up, and was kissing everybody on the cheek. And then for her,
I believe she's a team captain, so
Oh,
I don't
maybe-
know why he
But
got
see,
so excited.
It is
but-
customary, some countries do allow the kisses, or they do that, the kisses on the cheek. But this is on the mouth from your boss, and now I feel like they're intimidating poor Hermoso into like saying, "Oh, I agreed to it." He's saying that he asked her right then and there, and she said yes.
But we all seen the video. He clearly didn't say anything like, "Can I give you a kiss?"
No, and and
You've seen
Spain,
the video.
yeah, and this team has already had turmoil before, with 15 players not wanting to play before because they claimed there were issues, with the team. So clearly it's been going on. And now I'm glad that it's highlighting and making, creating awareness. There's even a movement that's going to probably come about with a hashtag that's being picked up, Estamos con Jenny, which means with you, Jenny, and se acabó, it's over. So hopefully this does create change. I think there's more people paying attention and hopefully pressuring, the federation to make some changes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And don't let his mama on that little hunger strike
I
fool
heard
y'all or
about that.
distract y'all. We knew what he did was wrong.
I think she will come out with a statement soon, so hopefully we'll be talking about this again next week.
I had a hard time hearing that. My poor son getting hounded. We'll see where that goes. And a new fashion trend called Catholic Mexican girlcore is dividing the internet. It romanticizes the old world colonial aesthetic, according to the Washington Post. Think white dresses, braids, red accents, and crucifixes. Some on social media say it's cool to see fashion inspired by their country, but it's more important to know the cultural background behind it. Catholicism is sacred for many in Mexico. Critics also say that viewing Latin American culture strictly through the lens of Spanish colonialism, Black and Indigenous people are essentially erased. I'm having a really rough time with this. I don't understand why the Catholic religion or religious symbols, the rosaries, the crosses, why those continuously keep coming back, and why are they necessary to make a fashion statement?
I mean, because they look cool.
But it's, I recently went to see the Our Lady of Guadalupe, Basilica, and out of respect, it's one of the churches that's most visited when you go to Mexico City. It's been around since the 1500s. It's, this faith for this Virgin, and out of respect, we had bare shoulders. We all threw on shawls. Some were, I'm not very religious. My friends aren't, but it's just a symbol of respect.
I think they don't know. I just think they, like I said, it looks cute. It's something that's trendy. It's always
I
been trendy.
don't think people know either. I
People
just think
don't
like
know.
there's a lot of younger people, and I just don't think they know like the history or anything. They just do it because they see it on TikTok.
Yeah,
I mean, you saw the TikToks.
Yeah,
and people are like, "Oh, that's cute. I'm gonna wear that too."
It's unfortunate because I saw even like one of the Kardashians get married with the dress with the
Kourtney.
virgin on the back, and she was wearing like this little short dress. Which, by all means, if you want to wear that, wear that. Just don't put the virgin in there. You know, to me, like even the rosaries too, with like skimpy outfits and this rosary, like that has deeper meaning. My mom prays, to my sister using a rosary countless nights for the last 8 years because it's a way for her to, feel connected. I'm guessing, with my sister, and just a way for you to cope with grief. So it has deeper meaning for some people.
I have a quick question. Well, I feel like I've seen this forever because I'm in Texas, so it's a lot of like, Chicano culture and things like that. So they implement all that good stuff into their wardrobe all the time. Yeah. I will say that they don't do it like that. But let's say somebody wants to carry their religion with them all the time. Let's say they're Catholic, but also they want to look a little sexy. What do? What if they always, I'm for real.
See, I think that's just, you have to be respectful. It's, I think, your own beliefs there. As long as it doesn't, offend anybody else, I think you're okay to wear it. Like if you want to wear a cross, that's fine. I just think you have to be more aware of who it offends. I mean, are we going to wear hijabs just because it's trendy for a week?
I mean,
are you going to do that? Or kippots, for, Jewish community?
I'm sure it'll happen in a trend one of these days.
Are we going to see it on a runway?
I bet we will.
That's not normal. I feel like this has been normalized because it's been done for so long.
Why?
But that also just says, like, just because something's normalized, just because you've seen it happen over and over again doesn't mean it's right. There's still time to change course. We
need to be more respectful. There's ways to find inspiration from other cultures and, highlight them because it's great to see that. I agree with, some of the people that are saying that, but there's a line between, being respectful.
Appreciation and appropriation.
Exactly.
When you appreciate something, you know the history behind it, you know why you're doing it, you're respecting it and not misusing it.
So you can wear a rosary, just be respectful.
Do your research, girlies. Do your research.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and hop into the good news of the week. So we are finally getting some Latino representation on the big screen to end out our summer. DC's new film Blue Beetle hit theaters last week and made its debut as the first solo film for its Latino superhero. And fun fact, the main cast, the director, and the writers are all Latino. The film is out now.
And the LGBTQ+ rights in Brazil reached a major victory. The country's Supreme Court ruled last week that homophobia is now punishable by prison terms of 2 to 5 years. The 9-1 ruling puts homophobic slurs on par legally with racist hate speech. People across social media celebrated the news, including the first 2 openly transgender people elected to the National Congress of Brazil last year.
All right, and less than a year out from Paris Olympics, and the icon is doing iconic things. Again, Simone Biles is back to making history. She just wrapped up at the U.S. Championship and became the first gymnast in history to win 8 national all-around titles. She's also now the oldest woman to win the U.S. Championships at 26 years old. I'm very excited about this, but at the same time, if I was her, I would be like, excuse me, I'm 26, oldest what?
Oldest, when I first saw that, I was like, she's not even old.
Oldest what? That's crazy.
I love that. I love seeing her just keep coming back. I know she was struggling with like mental health and had some issues, but to see her come back so strong.
Strong.
That's
Simone
awesome.
Biles. She does whatever.
She's Simone Biles. Represent H-Town. Represent Houston,
believe
Texas.
I can do whatever I want.
You can't do anything you want.
I'll try, Jamal, because she did it.
I believe in you, Bo. And I believe in you. Thank you so much for joining this week's Culture Report. We'll be back to continue the conversation next Thursday right here on 9 News Plus and 9news.com.